Hello, my name is Susan Kraft, and this is Talk Art, a program funded by Accent Arts of Palo Alto, suppliers of art materials, Golden Acrylic Paints, and Silicon Valley Open Studios, SVOS. You can find out more about Open Studios by browsing to svos.org. Likewise, you can find out more about our sponsors at accentarts.com and goldenpaint.com. Today, we're talking with Donna Orme and Sydell Lewis. We're going to hear about and see what they have in common. Let's welcome Sydell and Donna to Talk Art. First, we'll talk with Sydell. Sydell, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you.
I know you've been, well, thank you. And I know you've been in the studio audience more than once, and I'm glad that you're on this side of the table today. And you brought a really interesting piece with you, and it's an active piece. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, I'd like you to tell us something about what's going on right now. You have something in common with Donna, and I'd like you to tell me about the show you've got coming up.
Yes, I have a show coming up at the end of July, on July 27th, 2009.
Right. It's 2009 right now, folks.
Yes.
Well, we taped this.
Yes. There'll be 4 artists. It's called Absolutely Abstract. It'll be at Gallery House in Palo Alto. And there will be a reception for the artists on July 31st from 6 to 8.
All right.
Public
well,
is
congratulations.
invited.
All right. I'd also like you to tell us about I guess it's not so recent trip anymore, and I love the south of France, so this really is close to my heart. You went to a museum in the south of France, and it rocked your world and changed your art forever.
Yes, it did.
It turned it upside down, literally. So tell me about what museum it was, and then we also have 3 pieces I want to show you real quickly as well.
Okay.
So.
I went to the Victor Vasarely Museum in Aix-en-Provence, and he's the father of optical art, op art, and I was bowled over, and when I came home, I had this kinetic idea of moving your eye across the canvas, and so I created these paintings of stripes, or striated paintings as I call them, and that's how it all started.
So optical art, op art,
yes.
Which that was news to me. I didn't know that op art meant optical art.
Yeah.
So, and then I really thank you for for informing me.
Yes.
I'm really glad that you brought that to us. So, you have 3 pieces that we wanted to show the audience and our TV viewing audience as well. And Marty, could you bring up those first 3 pieces, please?
Yes, these pieces were the first suite from
it's up already. Okay, good.
the first suite of paintings that I did.
And this is Breeze. We got Breeze, Sunspots, and Area going to be shown in succession. So.
Yeah. And yeah, these are from the first suite of paintings that I did.
All right.
And when I worked on them, since they're striped, I always turn my work upside down for balance. And these in particular, I would also turn on their side, because the balance is difficult if you're just working with stripes and trying to keep your eye moving across the canvas. And I started to realize that, first of all, they look different when they're upside down.
Yeah.
And then I also realized that they look totally different when they're on their side. And so I thought, oh, this is really neat, and I would really like to share this with other people. And so with some encouragement from other artists, I decided to try to develop some kind of a rotating mechanism to show all 4 sides, all 4 orientations.
Right here.
So I was very lucky, and I found someone to help me, and we created a manual rotator. That was the first one.
Okay,
yeah, that was the first one.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You go there on the wall and give it a,
yeah, and you just
which is
turn
a no-no usually. Don't touch
it's
the
a
art.
no-no, right,
Don't touch the art. Oh,
right,
no, touch
right,
the art.
right.
Yeah, okay.
So, and so I actually did a performance piece to get people to touch the art at the first show I ever had of this work. And then I kind of got into, since I was into this, I decided that I wanted to exaggerate the 2 directions, and that's where this painting and this group of paintings came from.
I think we have a group up that we can bring up. Marty has them in the control room there. We've got another set that here we go. It's called Airy Upside Down.
Oh,
It's
those
the first
are
one.
yeah,
So let's start with those.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think he's going to show the upside down, horizontal, and diagonal in succession.
Yeah,
So
yeah. What happened was...
there they go. There's diagonal.
Okay. When the diagonal happened, when the rotator was finished, I didn't have a clue that we're going to have a diagonal. But people like that position. It's very graphic, and so people get excited when they see that. And then I got into doing a more exaggerated,
Oh, okay.
composition where I was accentuating the
sea light
vertical
pieces.
and yeah, that's the sea. There were the water pieces.
Water
basically.
pieces, sea light. Can we,
Yeah.
oh, there they are. There's sea light straight up and down.
Yeah,
Okay.
and here I did an impasto on one direction, and on the other direction it just has lots of texture.
Wow, it's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, so that accentuated. That was like the second phase of it.
And now, so I'm sorry for stepping on your words here, but then now you've got diagonal. So now I can see this, the vertical and then the horizontal, but when you do diagonal, you actually literally designed it for the diagonal also?
No, I actually don't design for the diagonal. It just happens. And I think it's just the shape of the diagonal that people are drawn to. So I thought I'd just keep it.
Fun, you know, it is fun. It's like, you know, it's like the roof, how people love that because, you know, it's, people like pyramids, they like their houses, they like big roofs, even though California's flat roof.
So it's true. They do.
They do like that, yeah.
If I, in a show, when I leave it in horizontal or vertical, I come back, they're always diagonal.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. I did not know.
It's
well,
interesting.
Sure, yeah, let's just do things a little bit different, especially here in California, we're the forerunners. I think we've got one more set that we'd like to show in this. You've got something called sway.
Yeah, it's
Marty, can you bring this? Oh, yeah, whoa, wait, he's fast. Okay, here's sway is up right now. We've got sway up vertical right now.
And then horizontal and then diagonal.
Okay,
yeah, just another example.
Okay,
and this is also heavy impasto work.
Heavy impasto. So explain to people what heavy impasto means. In case
It's
they
a
don't
very heavy texture that's three-dimensional. It's like a relief on the canvas.
Because
so it has,
you underpaint or you put on top
I put a heavy texture. The acrylic paint comes with something that can make a very heavy texture.
Would this be like golden media?
It's a golden molding paste. It's called. Yeah. And then I form it how I like it.
Yeah.
And
and they have like maybe a dozen of them. At least.
It's a great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So now let's see what else we're going to say. Now that we've talked about your basic pieces, which are beautiful, and I love the way you've shown us the progression from where you first started to the airy pieces, the sea light to then the sway. Sway, that's an interesting name. How did you come up with sway for a title of an art piece?
Look at the work.
We're swaying around. Now, your future, are you going to stay with the future of stripy pieces and for your diagonal piece, your rotating pieces?
No. I think, first of all, I think that many pieces of art that already exist can be looked at in different orientations.
Okay.
That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm exploring that.
So I'm going to stop you for a moment. Okay. So now anybody, if you've got pieces out there, do not hang your watercolors upside down, even if they're abstract, because framing is, I used to frame for a long time. I had a framing shop, a couple of them. Framing is meant to work with gravity, so please don't hang your paintings upside down because you will be very disappointed and it'll be very costly in the long run. So Sydells, however, you can turn upside down. Anything that's hanging on or it's just a stretched canvas on a stretcher bar, you may hang that upside down too if you talk to your framer first.
Yes, actually, I can create mechanism for prints as well, and that I'll frame.
Or just call Sydell, or
just call me.
She's got her website up. Did you guys let her put your website up yet? I'm sure you might have, or in case you haven't, make sure you get her website up there so people know how to contact her if they're interested in making things rotate. Let's talk about your future of stripy paintings. I want to make sure we get that.
Yeah. I'm moving away right now from a stripy composition. I'm moving to a more open composition.
Okay, and I think Marty's going to bring those up as well in a moment. There we go. We've got high season right now.
Right, and here I'm starting to put more figurative things in leaves and more things coming from nature. The next one is in season, I believe.
In season is going to come up next.
Yeah, and that one actually was got into.
You got a demo for us? Oh, you got the. You got it in a book.
Yeah. This was accepted into the American Collector. It was a jury competition of new work, and it got accepted into this.
It's a wonderful book, and well,
yeah,
oh, there you go. Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you.
And that also has to do with nature and seeds and growth, etc. But again, it's starting to be a more...
Etc. You know, all that stuff that grows around,
well,
you know, the life thing around us,
the
you know,
life thing.
the non-arty stuff. It's the life stuff out there that's growing.
Right.
Our kids and whatever.
And so... But it's getting to be a more open composition, and as you see, the next one, which... November, yeah.
It's up right now.
Yeah, and that one, again, that has a more celestial feel to me.
It does.
Sometimes I do a painting, and I don't really know where I'm going. And when I finish
you've got Blue Constellations coming up
yeah,
next.
and then Blue Constellations is the next one, also from a celestial kind of feel.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then...
Oh, let's look at Blue Constellation. Marty, can you bring that up? There you go. Whoo, look at that. Beautiful. It's much lighter, too.
Yeah, and that's a very good rotating one, too. That works well.
I don't
but
think
we
Marty
won't
can
show
rotate
that.
Everyone at home, you can turn your camera, turn your TVs around. Quick, turn your TVs upside down, sideways. Okay. Thank you. Now put the, see, now they pulled out the plug and it just ruined it for them. Okay, never mind.
The next
Go green. We got go green. There it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Now here I'm starting to, there's a suggestion of a figure in this piece. And again, nature, leaves, etc. It's natural forms.
All right.
Okay.
And primal whisperer.
Yeah.
Now there must be a figure in there, huh?
Yes.
Primal needs, primal urges.
So,
ooh, look at this.
And primal whisper is another one, and that has a very good.
Yeah, they're sideways now. Okay.
Yeah. And that has, there will be 3 of positions there that will show.
Oh, there it is. Oh, look at those people in there doing all that stuff. Oh my.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So those are 3.
All right. So
that's the direction. Seem to be getting figures in my work now that seems to be slipping into my work here.
I think now you have the choice of either talking about, I think you've got your formal connections, dark connections, or we can just go into your monotypes.
Oh, these are my monotypes.
Okay, so we were... She's cheating. She's looking at my notes
here. I'm looking at the cheating sheet.
Hey, did you do that in school too? Did you ever get caught? Jeez, because you're really bad, too. You're really bad at it. What do you got over there? What are you doing for answer A? Okay, we're going to talk about monotypes now. That's, by the way, folks, this is what they have in common. They do monotypes and prints and monoprints and mono, I'm not a mono anything. Oh, you do etchings?
No, I don't do etchings.
What they have in common is?
Printmaking.
Printmaking,
yeah.
Okay.
With acrylic paint. We both
With
do
acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Probably golden, I would guess.
I do. I use golden.
I love golden. So, not that I'm sucking up or anything, but I love golden. I've always have. I've got scads and scads of it. Okay, so what I'd like to talk to you about is your monotypes, Sydell. And I'd also like to talk to you about, can we bring up a monotype, please, of Sydell? Maybe a formal connection or blue associate, one of those cool pieces. Because when we do this, look at that. Oh, this is gorgeous. And that is blue associate. And while we look at this, please tell us about your original teacher for these mono prints.
I started doing this in 1995. I took a workshop with John Rife. He was at
R-I-F-F?
R-I-F-E.
R-I-F-E.
J-O-N-R-I-F-E.
Not to be confused with Joe Zuckerman.
No, not Joseph Zucker. No, this is John Rife. And he discovered that you can transfer acrylic paint from one surface to another after it's dry, which was a real feat.
Yeah.
And he developed a whole way of working. And I took his workshop, and I fell in love with the technique, and I changed a lot of things, but the basic concept of transferring that paint is still what I do.
Okay. And the reason I brought up Joseph Zuckerman is because he taught a class much later, and he wrote a book, which is great. I love it when people write books and codify everything, and people teach from it, but he has patented this idea, which is kind of interesting because it's really hard to patent art ideas, not art images, but art ideas. So I don't want to stay too much on that. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that you came up with this, and you took a class from somebody long before he patented this, because I certainly wouldn't want you to get in trouble with wonderful Joseph Zuckerman, because he has offered a lot to the art community, and I appreciate that, and thank you, Joe. Sorry. We can run through some of your pieces right now, but we need to move on. So we have a couple more. I'd like to show Ivory Lynx and Real Friend, a Real Find. Ivory Lynx, please. There it is. Oh, Real Find is up. That's the penguin piece.
Yeah, that's a penguin. That was part of a series of, I call it Connections, where I collected bones when I was in Patagonia. And that was a penguin bone from Penguin Colony.
Wow!
And so some of these works come from deconstructions of these things. Yeah.
Well, we're going to move right along to more monoprints, but from your good friend and my good friend, Donna Orme. Thank you very much, Sydell.
Thank you.
And Donna, you also do monoprints and monotypes and etchings. We're going to talk about all of those. Believe it or not, we're going to talk about all of those in the next 13 minutes.
Yes. Okay.
So I would like you to first tell us about what organization. Now, you've joined a lot of organizations. You're also in the book that Sydell showed us earlier. You've been in that book several times.
Yes.
And you've gotten some great hits from Visa, bought a piece from you from that book. I mean, it's really really good book for people to be in.
That's right.
But tell me about the organizations that you belong to.
I'm a very active member of Santa Clara Art Association, Los Gatos Art Association. I belong to Pacific Art League in Palo Alto. I have a show right now.
Where?
My show is at the Los Gatos Museum.
Again, this is 2009 July.
And it's through August 7th, 2009.
Great. Congratulations.
Right
and it's you have a whole room or two.
I have two rooms with 40 pieces of work.
On the top floor?
On the top floor of the museum. And the primary emphasis of this show is printmaking.
Very good, very good. And I would like to discuss some of this with you. Now, are any of the pieces that you won national prizes on, are those in the show?
They are.
Can we see them, please? We'd like to bring them up. Marty, can you bring them up? There we go. Shapes and Textures.
That's a big award winner for me for the National Collage Society.
Oh, very good. It's a collage. Okay.
Yes.
And the next one is Blocks and Circles. Now, I know that later on we have you showing us the original etching plate. Is that how you refer to it?
Shall I show it at the moment?
Yeah, not right now. Blocks and Circles. So that one, and can you go back to Blocks and Circles, please? All right, now tell us what award you won with this one.
That award was with the State Fair, Sacramento State Fair.
Oh, wow.
Big gold bear.
Okay.
Shall I show you that?
Can you bring us the camera, please? Because we're going to show the gold bear she won. Now, this gold bear, there is only how many are awarded each year?
6. In this particular year, were given out, and this one in printmaking category.
Of all of California, there were 6 gold bears, 1 in printmaking, and it was Donna. Donna Orme.
Boy, am I happy.
Can you believe that? Look at that, a gold bear.
Yeah.
Amazing. Look, everybody gets to see it on camera too. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much for showing that to us.
Sure.
I had no idea that was, I've never met anyone that had a gold bear before. I am deeply honored.
It's pretty heavy.
Wow. Is it solid gold?
I hope so. Feels like it.
Okay. So now the next one that you've got a national award for is, here it is, Mosaic. Now what is
actually, this was recent. AVA Art Fest.
Okay, and what is this piece?
Yeah, this is a part of the acrylic monotype series that I am working with.
Okay.
And this is one at a show just last month.
Okay.
Here in California.
Wow! Congratulations! I love AVA Fest. I was in one of their summer festivals at the Triton Museum, and a couple times actually. It was a lot of fun. Beautiful grounds.
Yeah.
I love the Triton Museum. So it's one of our treasures in the Bay Area.
They had it at Mountain View this year.
They did. That's right.
Mountain
they moved
View
it off of there.
Performing Arts Center.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Another
very
beautiful
nice.
place. They have
very
great
nice.
taste. Great taste for sets. They must have some good insight as to where to go. Now, I also wanted to talk to you about your show at the Art Museum of Los Gatos. You have quite a few sets. You said 40 pieces there, but we're going to see 10 here in the studio.
Some of the pieces we're going to show are acrylic paintings, not in the show.
Oh, okay. But first,
4
we're going to look at a few pieces here. We've got Roundabout. Is that in the show?
That is definitely in the show.
And that is a print?
Yes, yes. That's also an award winner from AVA Art Fest.
Really?
Yes,
wonderful.
it is. Yes.
The next one, please. Sun Circles.
current acrylic painting.
It's a painting. It's not a print at all.
No.
It's complete. Oh, nice. Very nice.
Acrylic
Okay.
painting.
And the next one, you can just kind of keep running through those every couple of seconds. Black, gray, white on red.
Similar to what's behind me, very large wall hanging in the show, many large wall hangings back to back, hanging from the ceiling.
And the next one is Renaissance.
Another large one.
Okay.
Right.
And a midday.
Midday, another large one.
In the show?
They're in the show.
Okay.
They're done with the...
The next one's called Tomato Garden.
Another acrylic painting.
Okay, let's just the rest. I think the rest of them are going to be in the show. Take a look and see which ones isn't in the show. Tree of Life.
That's in the show. Done with soft pastel embedded inside of acrylic.
Well, I've never seen that before. Okay,
It's,
OX.
That is just an acrylic painting.
And it wasn't that I was pausing with an I was about to say ox, but you told me quite emphatically this is OX. Please don't say the word ox, even though some people say there is an ox in there. Now, I don't see an ox in there, but then again, my eyesight's not so good. So we're going to make sure this is everybody, this is OX. Please do not refer to it as ox, ever. Okay, next one, please. 8.
Yes, acrylic painting.
Beautiful. Okay, and next, Whispers. Is this in the show?
It's not. It's an acrylic painting.
Acrylic painting. Okay, was 8 in the show?
It's not because it's acrylic painting.
Oh, I see.
Only printmaking.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
only printmaking.
Wasn't really
Those
thinking.
are just strictly acrylics paintings.
I see. So get it right.
There
If
is
it's
a
acrylic
difference.
painting, it's on the show. Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you are about to show us a demo here of how you do what?
Some of the pieces in the show are done with this process, which is working with layers of acrylic on a polyethylene plastic.
And what is this process called?
Acrylic monotype.
Monotype. Okay.
A monotype, one of a kind. You pull it off, you only get
so
one.
flip it over like it's all together still.
See, it's painted
Put
layers.
the whole thing like this.
And then in order to finish the piece, you pull, this is mounted on a canvas. And
Lean it forward a little bit more. Like there you go. There you go. Yes.
and
there
here we go.
Yeah.
We're pulling off the final of an acrylic painting.
Oh, it wasn't that hard to come off.
No.
Very easy.
See? And
Wow.
there is the final.
So you painted on the acrylic.
Multiple layers painted on the polyethylene plate.
After it dried, you...
The last layer is acrylic gel. Golden acrylic is fine. Then we put the canvas into the wet gel.
Okay.
And press it firmly.
With what? It has
With
to be a
your
press?
hand.
Just
With your hand.
Okay.
Put the acrylic plate in the sun to dry for a couple of hours and then pull it away.
With the canvas on top, it dries.
The canvas is on there just like I started.
Okay.
The canvas is pressed into the plate.
With your hands.
With your hand.
Okay.
The plate is put in the sun to dry, and then about 2 hours later, you can pull it away.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for bringing that in. Can I look at that?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Can I have that?
Yes, of course.
She's an award winner with a gold bear. Oh, where are you? Where are you? Who's looking at me? Here you are. She's got a gold bear, and she said, you heard her. She said I could have it. I wouldn't take it. I would not bully her on camera like that. Would I, though? I don't know. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. It's wonderful. If you signed it only, I'd take it. Anyway, otherwise, who cares? I want her signature. What else do we have? We have, you also have another really cool demo for us. Now, Marty, you have to get ready to bring up the plate she brought up. What's the plate? You've got blocks and circles. Goes along with this plate. Now, this is an aluminum plate.
Yes, I do etchings on aluminum. Aluminum is kind of unusual because a lot of etchings are done with copper and with zinc and copper. But this is an actual aluminum
just put
plate.
Here and don't move it around there. There you go. Otherwise, you're going to drive the camera guy crazy. There you go.
And sections of the plate are blocked out with a stop out. The stop out I use is contact paper. I put contact paper over the entire plate and then cut out sections of the contact paper and pull it away with an X-Acto knife.
Okay.
And then the plate is dipped in copper sulfate,
Okay.
which eats little tiny dots into the plate.
Uh-huh.
The longer the plate is in the copper sulfate, the more dots you have, the darker the ink will be when you ink the plate. So you can take the plate out, cover up sections, and remove other sections, so some will be lighter, some will be darker. You'll get your value that way.
So it's almost like batik, except that, you know, batik, have you done batik work?
I haven't.
Oh, what's with wax? And the same thing, you put more wax on, and you go from light to dark, because you dye it, you crunch it up, you dye it, and then you take it out, and then you put more wax on, you dye it in a darker color, and so that's how you get, and then at the very end you take off all the wax. So
Well, it sounds like it.
It's a removal, but
Yeah.
but you can see here that you've taken more contact off, and then you dip it back in again.
Yes.
And you
to
said you
get-
put contact back on again, though. That's just tricky. That's
That-
not like, that is not like
I
batik.
actually have an aluminum plate on display in the show that I have left the contact paper on, and the contact paper has very tiny, tiny little diamonds in it. And they actually inked up when I inked the plate, and they're showing in the print itself.
Wow, wow, that's really interesting. So that became a piece of artwork itself.
Yeah, it does.
What else do I want to talk about? I've got my floor directors like waving signs at me about things, about timing. We're almost out of time. We're almost out of time, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for bringing that beautiful plate in. I have not seen anything like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I usually see the end result only. I do want to ask you about, you have a museum, you have an advertisement. You have like one of those, you know, one of those postcards that you get in the mail that we get, you know, 500,000 of them that we send out. We laboriously put down the addresses on everybody, and we send them out in the mail.
Yeah.
So can we bring one of those up, Marty, for the museum show? It's the
3x3.
XOX, I think it is. It's the
3x3.
last one. Too late? You can't bring it up? Okay, well, that's it. Sorry, everybody. Okay, well, it's the museum show. Here we go. Thank you very much for coming tonight, or today. I don't know what time. Goodbye. Thank you.